Derby Day at Elland Road, the entry of the Gladiators. A packed house, and for the Leeds contingent, what better way to wipe out the memory of their first defeat of the season? It came with Mark Bright's injury time header for Crystal Palace on Tuesday night. The unbeaten record had gone. They remain second in Division 1, but with 5 teams just 3 points adrift, they probably need to win here today to stay second. Sheffield United's need for points is even more urgent, although with Southampton and Luton both away today, victory could well lift them 2 places off the bottom. And victory is a taste they've experienced just once this season against Everton. Part of the problem for the manager, Dave Bassett, has been never being able to name an unchanged team.
Yeah, that's been a problem this season. I was hoping for a settled side, and it's not worked out. And obviously, the more successful teams you look around, they've got a settled side. And again, we've had to make changes this week because of injuries.
And for the details of those changes, which the army of travelling Blades fans are digesting, here's our match commentator, John Hell.
Thank you, Nick. Well, this is the latest Bassett permutation. 4 more changes from the side we saw draw with Wimbledon last week. Charlie Hartfield comes in for John Pemberton. Paul Beasley replaces Colin Hill. Mike Lake starts instead of Glyn Hodges. And Bob Booker replaces Clive Mendonca. There are also alterations on the bench, with Carl Bradshaw now recovered from a knee ligament injury in the squad for the first time this season. The good and the bad news for Leeds is that Chris White and Gary McAllister came through fitness tests okay this morning, but Gordon Strachan's pulled hamstring is still playing him up. And there's a surprise on the Leeds substitutes bench too. Chris Fairclough is back ahead of schedule after knee and calf problems. He's not played since the derby against Sheffield Wednesday. Well, this is the first Leeds-Sheffield derby for referee Kieran Barrett from Coventry, officiating today with his regular linesman partners Doug Charnley and Gareth Davies. And in bright sunshine, Leeds United will kick off attacking the family stand in their all-white strip. Sheffield United in their change of yellow and red. And you know, nobody loves playing against Sheffield United more than Mel Sterland, the Leeds United right back. Born in Sheffield, of course. And it's Sheffield United with the first attack of the game, which, produces a header behind from Charlie Hartfield. Sterling has actually scored against Sheffield United in the last 2 seasons, and that's given him great joy as a former Sheffield Wednesday player. That was Beasley who won it, and McClellan, the opposite number, centre back, heading forward straight through to Phil Kite. Kite determined to prove a point to Dave Bassett. He was upset when he was left out last season when Tracy was fit again. Lake and Batty were having quite a tussle there, and the long-haired Michael Lake and David Batty having a little set to and just letting one another know that they're in the business of ball winning today. Batty wearing the captain's armband and proud to do so. 2 very competitive players. A Leeds United free kick. Ball out of play. Now, because there's no goals on Sunday tomorrow, we do have a bonus for you this evening, and that is goals from around the region. So a number of matches being covered on your match on YTV tonight. But this is the main game. It had to be Leeds against Sheffield United. Steve Hodge wearing the number 7 shirt for Leeds in Strachan's continued absence. Batty's header. And Shot and Beasley challenging together, and no free kick given, so the throw is for Leeds, and they are applying the early pressure. Leeds with 4 players inside the penalty area. Sterling the long one towards the near post, and Chapman doesn't get there. Here's Hodge, and the first goal is scored by Steve Hodge. It was a bit of a daisy cutter, and it bobbled through, and Steve Hodge, with his 3rd goal for Leeds United, makes the early breakthrough on 5 minutes. Sheffield United couldn't cope with the corner, driven in by Hodge, and Kite left helpless. Sterling's throw at the hub of it. Chapman tussling for it. Beasley getting up and nodding the ball down, but perfectly driven into the perfect spot by Hodge. So what a good start again for Steve Hodge. He scored the winner against Liverpool here. He also scored against Sheffield Wednesday, of course, so that's a notable double for him over the Sheffield twosome. Leeds having the better of possession. Sheffield showing glimpses of form, and there was Cowan's pass to Agana, which was an inviting one. Here is Lake. Could get the shot in, does. Low. A rasping drive from Lake and fallen on by John Lukic just in time. Well, that will have lifted spirits among the Sheffield fans. Oh, that's a good header down from McAllister. And the ball here is for Carl Shutt. Shot inside the area, bowled over. And the decision, in fact, was given against Shutt for handball before the tackle by Brian Gale on him. And it's a second lecture for Carl Shutt. Lovely ball from McAllister, inviting him to run into the penalty area here, and he used the upper forearm. Now who's going to pick this one up? Turns out to be Speed. Now it's Batty. Going round in circles. I don't think he realised there was nobody goal side of him. The Leeds have rather delayed things here, but they've got just about everybody up inside the Sheffield United half. Delightful play. Hodge to Shutt. Here's a looping cross beyond Kite. Maybe he has to palm it behind for the corner. So well played, Phil Kite. Still to figure on a winning Sheffield United side. He's certainly hoping today's going to be the day. It would lift Sheffield's morale if they could win this derby tremendously. But they're a goal down, and Leeds have a corner. And again Kite didn't quite get there, and it was headed against the outside of the upright by Shutt. And that was unlucky for the Sheffield-born striker. And Hodge is here again. Superb. And there's the cross, which is dealt with this time. And Sheffield United at the moment are living dangerously. They're walking the tightrope. The Leeds could easily have been 2 goals up from the corner. Kite was never going to stretch that high, and Shutt's header against the upright. Dorigo snapped in there quickly. Now he'll have to get back. Here's Bryson. It's the first time I've really seen Ian Bryson in the game. And Lake can put a cross in here. It's deep at the back post, Hartfield, and it skims away from his boot and out of play. For all their pressure, Leeds really should have been more than 1 goal in front. McAllister able to control it that time, so Hoyland turns it back. And a free kick is going to be awarded against Phil Kite here for kicking the ball from outside his area. And that free kick really is down to the linesman on the far side, Gareth Davis. Well, I often do think that goalkeepers take liberties. Interesting to have a look at that. Now let's have a look. Phil Kite, the ball in his hands, and he ended up outside the penalty area with both feet, and that's why the free kick was given. Well, I bet Mel Sterling fancies a crack at goal here, so might McAllister. And the Sheffield United wall is formed. Let's see if it can be pierced. Shutt and Hodge have gone to be members of it. I think Sterling might whack it in hard. He does, and he scores! And Sterling maintains his astonishing record of taking it out on Sheffield United. A Sheffield Wednesday boy at heart, and for the third season in a row, he finds Sheffield United's net. 29 minutes gone, and Mel Sterland's right boot rifles the ball with the aid of a deflection past Kite. Certainly Sterland's goal, though, and the 51st of his league career. A lot of Leeds players up in the Sheffield half again, but he picks Beasley out this time. Garner doing well here to keep the ball in play. McClellan didn't want him to. There's a looping ball in, and Dorigo underneath it, puts it out for the throw-in. Well, as always, Dave Bassett has made an interesting team selection here with with Bob Bucket at right back. He's playing Charlie Hartfield wide on the left, and Mike Lake supplementing the forwards. But can he change things around? Now the side is 2 down. He's got 2 strikers on the bench in Bradshaw and Whitehouse. That's unusual for a side playing away from home. Leeds have 2 defenders, funnily enough, in Fairclough and Whitlow. And Sheffield United with these throw-ins, looking to get something from one of them. They might now. Lake it was again, the second shot he's put in on goal. Batty brings it away for Leeds. Tenaciously. Oh, lovely ball as well from McAllister. And if McAllister can square it, shot was through almost on his own. Far side of the area. Up comes Dorigo now. Leeds have got 5 men inside the Sheffield United penalty box. Speed was on the end of it. And the ball ends in the crowd. It really was a lovely ball from David Batty, which set that one up. It sent McAllister free, but in the end it could have been 3-0. It wasn't. Garner losing out for White, who comes in. He does challenge for the ball so well in those situations. And Dorigo keeps Lukic occupied. McClellan to hit it upfield. Chapman from the end of it. In the tight area there, Sterland has managed to find Hodge. It just clipped off the side of Steve Hodge and allowed Sheffield to sweep up Beasley. Delightfully done by McAllister. You saw the space. Look at the pass as well. It's gone out to Speed. Forward goes Dorigo into the Sheffield penalty area. It's a penalty. Brought down by Ian Bryson. And Leeds have the chance to go 3 up. Tony Dorigo wins the penalty here. Ian Bryson's push on the fullback. And it's turning into a nightmare of a first half for Sheffield United. Sterland and McAllister, I think, are arguing about who is to take the penalty. They are. And that's an interesting confrontation that will not be approved of by Howard Wilkinson. Just look at this. McAllister is furious. He says, I take the penalties. Sterland says, I take them. Gordon Strachan usually does, of course. And yet another talking point. It's to be hoped from Leeds' point of view he scores. He does. And it's 3-0. But I'm not sure McAllister will go and shake his hand, or will he? He does, but he's infuriated. 3-0, 2 for Mel Sterland. 38 minutes gone. Driven past Kite's left hand and in. And Leeds are romping it. But Gary McAllister, who has taken penalties on a regular basis with his previous club, Leicester City, obviously felt that he was Strachan's deputy. Sterland didn't agree with him. Now Sheffield United have a free kick. 3-0, 38 minutes gone. Goals are plenty, but all into the Sheffield net. This could be one for them. Lake thumps it over the top. But you've got to say this for Mike Lake, at least he's willing to have a go. That's the third shot he's had in this half, and he looks Sheffield United's likeliest performer. Hodge just knocking it calmly down to Batty. McAllister through the middle, go 3 men. It's 3 against 3. Speed brought down, was he? No, and I think the referee was quite right there. Speed stumbled under the challenge, but Batty has picked it up for Leeds, and Dorigo is making space down the left. A minute to half time. Leeds looking for a 4th goal in this first half. Surely not. Sheffield United have got it away, and they'll be relieved about that, as McClelland tries to take care of Agana again, and does so. And John McClelland really has become something of a cult figure with the Kop here at Ellen Road, and they acknowledge his contribution again, and he enjoyed that. No free kick again. And we move into injury time in the first half. Sterling rolling the ball to McAllister. Cut out this time by Beasley, and an offside flag. And it's been an extremely frustrating half for Sheffield United. They've not only conceded 3, they could have conceded more than that. And a very satisfactory half for Leeds, unsatisfactory for Sheffield United. It's 3-0, and we can now hear from 2 of the players not involved in this afternoon's match. Goalkeeper Simon Tracy of Sheffield United, but first, Leeds United's Chris Kamara with Nick.
Chris Kamara, very satisfactory first half.
Yeah, superb performance from Leeds. Without having to get really into top gear today. They're passing so much better than Sheffield United. They're first to the ball, they're winning everything. Carl Schutz hit the post. It's all going Leeds' way.
So what will the management be saying now at half time?
Don't get complacent, because I can imagine Dave Bassett will be giving his side a right rollicking. They've showed no character, they've showed no fight, and he'll be very disappointed with that, because he's a very proud manager. He won't want to see his team do that. They'll be coming out in the second half fighting very hard, and if Leeds let them standards drop a little bit, then they could let them back into the game.
Chris, thanks very much indeed. We're also joined by Simon Tracy. Not a day to be a goalkeeper against Leeds.
Not really. Leeds have come out, they scored an early goal. They've done very well. Now, I think the officials ain't been very consistent, especially the linesman. That's cost us a goal, that's probably cost us the game.
And do you agree with Chris that there'll be a rollicking in your dressing room at half time?
I should imagine so, yeah. We've not played very well. And we've got to go out and do what Leeds done. They stamped their authority on the game, now we've got to go out and do exactly the same thing.
Can you come back?
Well, 3-0 is not impossible.
Thanks very much indeed, we'll see. Here's John.
Well, they certainly weren't mincing their words, were they? 3-0 it is then to Leeds United. The first goal on 5 minutes from Steve Hodge, and then 2 strikes from Mel Sterland on 29 and 38 minutes, the second of those from the penalty spot. It's all going Leeds' way at the moment. Join us for the second half, though, after this break. Welcome back to Ellen Road. It's Leeds United 3, Sheffield United 0. 2 Mel Sterling goals, supplementing an early one from Steve Hodge. And don't forget, coming up later in the programme for you, goals from right around the region, and a lot of goals there are too, I can tell you. But Dane Whitehouse is on in the second half for Sheffield United. He has taken the place of Charlie Hartfield. We wondered what Dave Bassett might do. He's introduced another striker in Whitehouse, and Leeds United too have made a change. Mike Whitlow is on, wearing the number 14 shirt, and the player who's gone off is Gary McAllister. And I think that's down to the fact that McAllister was struggling, as we know, before the game. McAllister probably did well to play the 45 minutes. No wonder he wanted to take that penalty. So the action has resumed and Leeds have a free kick halfway inside their own half. They're now attacking the Kop. Interesting to see where Leeds slot Whitlow in. Looks to me as though he's gone to left back and Dorigo has gone to the left side of midfield. So he'll enjoy the opportunity of playing further upfield. As for Sheffield, Dane Whitehouse is playing on the left side in place of Hartfield. A straight swap there. Bryson's headed down. McClellan comes and keeps Agana at bay. That's a hearty shove in the back by Beasley on Chapman. A free kick given. Chapman, speed, must be number 4 for Steve Hodge, and how simple it was. 2 for Hodge, 2 for Sterland, 4 goals in 47 minutes, and Leeds are running riot with the match. Well, Chapman may not have got a goal for a few weeks, but his contribution there was immense. Speed too got a flick on, and Steve Hodge there to pounce. And he surely couldn't miss from there. The aerial challenges opening the door, and Hodge rounding it off with his 4th goal for Leeds. I think he's enjoying himself in the white shirt. And how they need to get back into the game. And Booker flies a good cross, and there might be a goal here for Whitehouse coming in at the back post. Goal kick given. Sheffield United fans who've not had much to cheer over on that far side try to raise one cheer at least for the afternoon. They felt it was a corner, I think. This is going to be a free kick against Chris White. Arms and legs everywhere there, White and Agana. And the referee's decision was on behalf of Sheffield United and against Chris White. Here's Whitehouse's cross. Oh, there's a firm header and a goal from Jamie Hoyland. So Sheffield United have some joy at last. A cracking header from Jamie Hoyland, his 2nd goal of the season, and it certainly makes the scoreline more respectable. Whitehouse with the cross, and Hoyland getting in above all the Leeds United defenders to head firmly past Lukic. It's a cracking header from Hoyland. His only previous goal was in the win over Everton. He's got one at Ellen Road now. Well, his dad will be proud of him. His dad Tommy used to play for Sheffield United, and Sheffield United are going to take Ian Bryson off as well to bring on another out-and-out striker in Carl Bradshaw. And the number 11 is hoisted. In fact, Mike Lake is going off, not Ian Bryson. And I think a lot of Sheffield United fans will find that surprising, because in the first half, Lake was the likeliest performer for them. So it's Bradshaw for Lake. Carl Bradshaw's first appearance of the season. He suffered that knee ligament injury against Queen's Park Rangers last year. Leeds have lost the momentum for the moment, but they've chances this time. Hodge, edge of the Sheffield United penalty area, beyond Kite, and coming in here. Well, it was a good save from Whitlow by Kite. The substitute thought he was on the score sheet, I fancy then. And straight away at the other end, it's McClellan against Agana, and Agana wins the duel. Wide for Whitehouse. Batty. That was neat. And now Whitlow, who's turned up in the right wing position all of a sudden, having been left back. Very strange switch, but there you go. Shut here. He goes for Leeds. Plays it in early and wins the corner. What a good save it was from Phil Kite, though, to deny Whitlow what would have been only his second First Division goal. And Dorigo has come over to take the corner. McAllister took them in the first half. Leeds looking for a 5th goal and to restore the 4-goal margin. Speed comes with the header. Fine save again by Phil Kite. It's an excellent header from Gary Speed and a superb stop by the goalkeeper. It's the second he's made in 2 minutes. So unusual to see Gordon Strachan sitting on the bench. His hamstring problems still not cleared. And he's scored a number of goals against Sheffield United in recent seasons, but he'll be happy to see his colleagues getting 4. Leeds win it here. Batty. And Batty followed through and will be penalised for his challenge on Tom Cowan. The man who's taken over from Strachan as the captain in the Scots' absence. Rather left to one another between Batty and Whitlow. It afforded Gannon the opportunity to pick it up for Sheffield. Oh, good turn by Bryson, he could score. Lukic gets his body in the way. Good positional play by the Leeds United goalkeeper, denying Ian Bryson. He's certainly been much busier in this half, Lukic. And Leeds are going to bring on Chris Fairclough, I think. Yes, they are. And it will be Sterland who goes off. That's interesting because now Sterland, who's got 2 goals in the first half, was just involved in that incident there where it could have been costly to Leeds. It looks to me as though he's got a knock though, and he is replaced after a day he's thoroughly enjoyed by Chris Fairclough. And marvellous to see Chris Fairclough back in action. He's not played since the game against Sheffield Wednesday, only the 3rd game of the season, and he's back after a knee problem. Oh, it's hooked in. Using his elbows to climb above Gannon. I thought he needed to do that anyway. He's a good 5 or 6 inches taller. And it's so far been an unproductive afternoon for Lee Chapman in terms of goal scoring, though he's played his part. But I'm sure he'd love to get on the score sheet after 7 barren games. Shot for Leeds. Oh, and the back pass. Oh, it's let Tony Agana and he can make it 4-2 here, and he has done. So another consolation for Sheffield United. Well, who knows, 14 minutes to go, and they're back in it at 4-2. Disastrous mistake by Carl Shutt here, playing the ball back towards John Lukic, and there was no one within 20 yards of Agana. He's able to go on coolly and roll the ball wide of Lukic and make the scoreline much more respectable. And Carl Shutt will be crestfallen. Ghana, his 3rd goal of the season, makes it Leeds 4, Sheffield United 2. And really it summed up the sloppiness that Leeds have shown in the last quarter of an hour. That time White couldn't win it. Bradshaw did, but it's gone out for the Leeds throw-in. Well, 4-2 is a far different scoreline from the one on 46 minutes when Leeds looked to be absolutely coasting it. And it appeared then that they could score any number. As it is, Dave Bassett's boys have come fighting back. And let's say well done to them for that. Garner slips, but he's still got there. And these are unsettling moments for Leeds, and a free kick is going to be given here, and a booking, I fancy, for David Batty too. He's got rather furious, as John Gannon there, about the events of the past few moments, and David Batty, for that rather rash challenge, is cautioned. It's a caution born of frustration. A team that was coasting it at 4-0 to be hauled back to 4-2. Really, they've brought it upon themselves with some slackness. But here is the tackle that brings about the booking. Batty following right through, but the free kick taken. Booker hustling for it, and a chance maybe for Gale, and the Leeds were in trouble then. And Sheffield could have made it 4-3, and it's their fans who are roaring all of a sudden. It's 4-2 to Leeds. Sheffield United very much on the attack, and getting a corner kick. Well, they sense that, who knows, perhaps a recovery is yet on the cards. 10 minutes to go. Their team trails only by 2 goals now, and they're scenting success. They're looking for a third goal. Back post to Garner. The chance is certainly here. Gale can't take it, and Batty brings it free for Leeds, and they need breathing space now. Down the line goes Dorigo. Important tackle won by Cowan. And the pulse rate raised again. Speed accepts Chapman's knockdown and canters on towards the edge of the Sheffield penalty area. Looks to thread it in behind Cowan, and Whitlow wasn't there and wasn't looking, I don't think. 9 minutes left. Chapman's flicked through, shots offside. Otherwise it might well have been 5-2, and that would have been curtains for Sheffield's comeback. I'm sure Carl Shutt, in the corner of your picture there, would just love to get his name on the score sheet after his mistake, a real blunder, let in a Garner. McClelland under it. It spins away for Bryson. Booker with the chance to cross it in. Goal kick. Dorigo loses out to Bradshaw, then eventually wins it back, but by use of the hand. So it's Sheffield United's free kick, and you can really see the urgency now. They all want the ball. Their away results have been pretty awful so far this season. They've lost 4, drawn 1. But Gannon's free kick invites a header. Lukic punches it down. Bradshaw scores for Sheffield United. And it's Leeds 4, Sheffield United 3 now. What a remarkable turnaround this is. And Carl Bradshaw celebrates his first appearance of the season with a goal. Gannon flighted it in, and John Lukic really coming for the punch, never quite getting there. Bradshaw took it calmly and swept it in. And it's the best Yorkshire derby in years. In terms of goals, certainly, and now we've got an exciting finish on our hands. 7 minutes to go. We've had 7 goals, and Jeff Taylor off the bench senses this could be a really great day even for Sheffield United now. Yet at half-time, even when Nick Powell asked the question, Simon Tracy didn't really believe, I don't think, that United could come back. They can. There are 6 minutes left, and they only trail by 4-3 now. And it's amazing how Leeds have just lost their way almost since they got that fourth goal, and Howard Wilkinson on the Leeds bench will be distraught by some of the things he's seen. He hates sloppiness, he hates to see his team give away goals. They conceded one in the last minute at Crystal Palace to drop 3 points in midweek, and now they've conceded 3 to Sheffield United, who didn't look to be in the game. No wonder his head is bowed for the moment. Chapman's flicked down to speed. Leeds desperate to get back into the rhythm that they had earlier. McClellan must surely just play this back. Sheffield United break. Agana for Whitehouse. He can make it 4-4 here. Agana's ball in. McClelland knocks it away. Back to Agana. And Leeds are under all sorts of pressure here. The ball comes in and Chris White puts it into the in the crowd on the far side. 4 minutes to go. Leeds United 4, Sheffield United 3. And who would have predicted a scoreline like this? And there again, there was a misunderstanding, and Lukic and White didn't seem too sure, but White eventually put it out of play. Free kick given against David Batty. Oh, and we're down in a tumble, a rough and tumble with Batty and Cowan. And I think that really wasn't as bad as it looked, and Cowan will be called over. Batty will be summoned by the referee too. Come on, says Jamie Hoyland. We're right back in it, we can do it. Gannon with the free kick for Sheffield United. Can they square it even now? Headed away by Dorigo. Bradshaw, the scorer of the third Sheffield goal, puts the cross in. Leeds in trouble again as Fairclough heads it into the crowd. And all the roaring is coming from the Sheffield United fans in that block away on the far side of the ground. Sheffield United's corner with 3 minutes to go. What drama at Ellen Road. Bryson looks to get it. Booker knocks it back. Bradshaw. Booker again. And Batty down to Lukic, who keeps it in play. And Leeds survive that one. And Leeds have just done nothing really since the fourth goal that they scored. They've sat back on their laurels and they've paid the penalty. Well, not quite, because they're still in front. And there are 2 minutes to go. Oh, and Kite almost running the ball out then over his own line. That would have been a Leeds corner. The linesman had a good look at it. Batty. Whitlow. Leeds looking to exploit Sheffield United again. Whitlow breaks through the middle. Shot is wide right. It's the Leeds turn. Their fans roar. It comes in here. Whitlow stumbled on it. Speed looks to knock it back. Batty will have a shot, and that'll waste up some time so far as Leeds are concerned. He only finds the target against Manchester City. McClelland, the header for Chapman to chase, and 1 minute left on the clock. Leeds is throwing. Have they weathered the storm? And the linesman is wrestling Bob Booker. And Bob Booker will be spoken to by the referee here. Chapman and Booker went down in a tangle on the touchline. And the linesman, Doug Charlie, got involved there to wrestle Booker away. No more than a talking to. Leeds will want to waste up time as much as anything, or maybe they'll get a fifth goal, who knows. Chapman went down in there, Whitlow can't get in, Cowan clears, Agana chases, Fairclough, and he's got to get back as White puts it into the crowd again. We've got 90 minutes on the clock, a Sheffield United throw in. An astonishing rally by Sheffield United. They may be bottom, but they've got their fighting spirit. There's no doubt about that. And another free kick for Sheffield. It's given against Fairclough. What a stirring duel it is. That got Dave Bassett off the bench. Sheffield look again to produce the most dramatic finale of all. Can they make it 4-4? Here's the free kick. Bodies in the area. Chapman it was who headed it away. There are 21 players inside the Leeds half, and the whistle blows to end a quite dramatic Yorkshire derby, which has been won 4-3 by Leeds. But the Sheffield United fans really responding to the rally of their team. After Sterling with 2 and Hodge with 2 had carried Leeds into a 4-0 scoreline, it seemed all over. But Sheffield United came back with a succession of goals. The first from Jamie Hoyland. Soon after that one by Tony Agana after a dreadful back pass by Carl Shutt, and the third from Carl Bradshaw set up a thrilling last 8 minutes, but Leeds held on. So Steve Hodge got 2, Sterling got 2, and Leeds won 4-3.
Did you honestly believe after 46 minutes, 4-0 down, that they could make it as close as they did?
No, not necessarily. When you're 4-0 down away from home, obviously it's a mountain to climb, but give the boys credit, they kept working at their task, and in the second half we dominated it, and Leeds must be delighted they had 4 goals after 46 minutes.
If we can go out and play like that in the second half, why can't we do it in the first? It's no good being 3-4 goals down and come back blazing all guns when the game's basically lost, you know. I just feel we've got to go away and maybe work a little bit harder on certain parts of our game, especially dead ball situations. I think that is where we're conceding a lot of goals. There's not too much wrong with our attitude in the dressing room and coming. Especially in the second half, we've come out there and played some great stuff. We got at them. We've shown, or we've exposed their weakness. And teams that are willing to go out and get at the opposition, we've got a great chance of winning here.
What happened when the penalty kick was awarded? Because 2 players seemed to want to take it. It all looked very puzzling from the side.
Well, it was my fault really. I at Scunthorpe at half-time had said to Micah, Gary McAllister, to take the penalties because Gordon had come off, and subconsciously that's it. I'd left it like that. Mel's always taking penalties. He thought he was going to take the penalty, and Micah was following my instructions, which was for him to take them. But Mel stuck it away well.
Of course, Mel, he'd scored a goal previous and he wanted to make it 2. So he was a bit annoyed at time, but I forgot about it once he'd scored.
But you were staying well out of it, were you?
Well, I always do as far as goals are concerned. No.
You did have one effort near the end.
If that's what you want to call it, yeah. No, it was a poor effort.
Are you enjoying being captain?
Yeah, I'm hoping in a way it won't last for too much longer because we want Gordon back. Any team misses a player with his influence. So, no, I've enjoyed it, yeah.
And happy with 3 points?
Well, looking back, that's the main thing. After the second half went, it'd been nice to have played really well and got 3 points, but in the end we're happy with just 3 points.